Hello everyone. My name is Mr. KADO. I work for Cameroonian KAIZEN project. Today I will explain the principles and practice of 5S. This is an example in Tanzania. If you look at the picture before, you can easily imagine that to find one document, it takes maybe 1 or 2 hours. But in the next situations, maybe you can easily imagine that you need just very short time to find one document. So it's eliminating ways to find any document maybe in 30 seconds. This is another example in Ghana. This is small and medium enterprises which make natural juice. Before their stores was like that, but implementing 5S, you can get much space, and you could find a very important items like this. So what is 5S? 5S is originally five Japanese words which start from S. So in English, we said sort, set, shine, standardize, and sustain. So the first S sort is sort out unnecessary items in the workplace and discard them. If possible, we can try to avoid useless movements. The second S is set, is categorize and arrange necessary items in good order so they can be easily selected for use. If necessary, we can put the labels. Third S is shine, is clean your workplace completely so that there is no dust on floors, machine, or equipment. So in the pandemic situation, this third S also became very, very important to remove all the viruses and everything. The fourth S is standardize, is maintain one's workplace so that it is productive and comfortable by repeating the sort and set and shine. And the last one, the fifth S, is sustain. We can say also self-discipline or supervisions. The meaning is train and supervise people to take up good work habits and follow workplace rules and regulations strictly. This is an example in Senegal. So in the first situation like this, what we should do is sort out unnecessary items in workplace and discard them. So we separate the useful things and unuseless things. The second things you should do is categorize same kinds of items in good orders. So all the same types of documents you can put together, the same kinds of stationery, for example, you can put together. And after putting in good orders, you will clean your workplace. So this is the 3 steps of the first 3S. It's same in the bookshelves. So the first things you should do is separate the necessary items and unnecessary items. So if you think that you don't need the carton like this, you can remove it. And you can categorize and arrange necessary documents in good orders. If possible, you can put the labels on it. This is the board for keys. So this the board is for the keys for the vehicles. So this is a good advantage of 5S. We can visualize. And for example, here, we can recognize very quickly that which cars are out because this keys is not there. It means that these cars are outside. The advantage of 5S, we have many, but first is reduction of working time. because we don't need to looking for some keys or documents for a long time. We can reduce the cost, for example, reduction of the storage, and efficiency will be increased. Time is money. The reduction of errors and safety in the workplace also can be exist. And finally, we can invite the satisfaction of the staff and the clients. So maybe you have ever heard a Kaizen. And 5S is one of the approach of Kaizens. The Kaizen is like a basket. It's a lot of many interesting tools and approach. And 5S is one of them. So Kaizen is a big concept. 5S is just one component of Kaizen. And Kaizen, we can explain sometimes by PDCA cycle. It's almost equal from Kaizen and PDCA cycles. In the 5S context, first stage is planning. And for example, we can take pictures of the target area for 5S. It means that it is a declaration that I will attack here. And after declaration and planning, we can implement 5S like this by doing sort and set and shine. After that, we can take another picture. It's a checking stage. And we can compare from the picture before and after. What is the improvement? And with these pictures, we can do the last act stage. And maybe we can hold a meeting and we can discuss if we continue to improve the same desks, same target area, or another strategy is if it was a good example, we can introduce the different rooms. This is a standardization stage. But in that way, you can make a circle of a PDCA cycle. You can function them. This is an example in the workshop in Cameroon. If you have so many items like this, we couldn't know if some items will be disappeared. But if you can create a board and you can visualize like this, we can quickly know which items are out and which items are here. This is another example in the Republic of the Congo. This is a training school for nurse. It was in the canteen. So before, some grasses, which can be very fragile, was in upper part. And after 5S, we can decide to put in lower part. And the heavy items also, we decide to put in lower part. And you can quickly imagine that 5S is useful even in your home. This is another example in Central Africa, in Central African Republic. This is a storage of the city hall of the Bosangua, and 5S is useful in public organization as well. If we want to do implement 5S in the computer, the logic is same. So in the first stage, in such kind of situations, what you should do is sort out unnecessary items and of course discard them. And the second thing you should do is categorize the same type of documents and put in good orders so that they can easily be selected for use. And of course, it is very important to put a good labels, I mean the titles. You can research very quickly. Another small techniques to improve your organization is the creation of the board. And when you create a board, it is important to keep the X angle and Y angle. Another small techniques, when the responsible puts some announcement and puts stamps on it, you can put the dates of removal already. So often we can see the announcement of last year, which is totally meaningless. Yeah. Another techniques, we can introduce the good practice of 5S Kaizen on the board, or the best practitioners of 5S Kaizen of the month, or we can put a mini action plan here. Electric lines also is a target for 5S activities, and it's very dangerous sometimes if we don't put in order the electric line. It can bring fires. After doing sort, sometimes we can find some items which seems useless. But for example, here, the old tires we can use for parking lot. So sometimes we can recycle some items. This is another small techniques for stationaries. We can use a polystyrene board to fix some items. Here we can see the same types of punch. We don't need so much. So we can reduce the number and we can fix a place where we put. Another small technique is when we ask to level, some people use markers and write directory on it, but don't do that. Instead of that, you can use such kind of batch and you can write down on the paper, or you can use a punch pocket like this because you can easily change the paper inside. Another small techniques is put on and off to the switch of the light, for example. Suppose that you are in Friday evening and just before coming, the power failure will come. And we forget which was on and off of the light of the switch. And if you go back and the light will come back, maybe you can lose your electricity fee during the whole weekend. We have explained that 5 is start from the existing materials. And for example, like PET bottles, plastic bottles is very, very useful for several meaning. Another small techniques, don't put any materials in front of the door or filing cabinets. It can cause a useless movement. For example, if we put something in front of the cabinet, first you can remove them and you should open. So there is a two movement, and this is meaningless. In the carton, we can keep items such as archive document or receipt that we never look at. And if we can remove the document, such kind of documents, and put in the carton, you can save the ring binders. For example, each binders, it can cost, for example, $5 per each. If you can save 10 ring binders, you can save $50. So really time is money, and you can use the 5S concept in the cashier also. So when you start 5S, the first things you should do is decide a place or corner for unwanted items. Sometimes we can call such kind of area unwanted items store. Small tips is if the chief participate in cleaning or other 5S activity, the other members will follow. The leaders, they don't have time, so it can be just a symbolic. But if you move hands, the leaders, the other members say, hey, let me do it. I will do it for you. Yeah. I didn't explain so much by the fourth says and fifth says, but the fourth says standardize, I repeat again, is maintain one workplace so that it is productive and comfortable by repeating the sort and set and shine. And this should be by the initiative of the top management. The fifth S also, sustain, should be done, conduct by leaders. So it's train and supervise people to take up good work habits and follow workplace rules and regulations strictly. So before the end, the key to success for 5S activities is first, 5S is a set of participatory activities. All the types of personnel, including drivers, girls, and cleaning staff, of course, the management staff can participate in it. It is important to invite all types of personnel during an awareness campaign or training sessions. Second thing is 5S is not just about cleaning. It is an activities for managing materials and documents. The third is 5S is like football or basketball. The more you practice, the better player you become. The main key to success is for the chief and management to take part in activities with their personnel. So, thank you very much and see you again.